I just want to do everything I can to protect him.
A Toronto mother says students with additional educational needs like her son have been overlooked as a vulnerable group that should be prioritized for a fourth dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. And despite a letter from his pediatrician, he's unable to get one.
Why is he no longer a priority? He was a priority previously.
Alexandra Landsberg's 16-year-old son Sam has Down syndrome and was among those at the top of the list for the third dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. But the same doesn't apply for the fourth shot. While he's not immunocompromised, Down syndrome still puts him at a higher risk to catch COVID.
Sam attends a small high school for kids with special needs. Many of the kids there are unable to wear masks for many reasons, and many of them are immunocompromised. So Sam receiving his shots was obviously of utmost importance to both him and for the protection for his peers around him.
Joanne Purcell's daughter Simone also has Down syndrome, and her capacity to fight off respiratory infections is very low.
Her nasal passages and her windpipe and her ear-to-ear canals are smaller, and her muscle tone is less tight or less tense than others. That puts her at a vulnerability. An example of it was when she was 5 years old. She ended up in the ICU after a common cold.
Joanne agrees that kids like her daughter should be eligible for a fourth vaccine shot, especially as she heads to camp this summer.
She'll be out with kids that I'm not as familiar with, and maybe kids that are younger. I mean, she might be in a group with children under the age of 5 who unfortunately have not been able to access the vaccine, or she might be with people who have chosen only to get 2 or 1.
Currently, only those 60 plus or First Nation, Inuit and Métis people 18 and over or a non-Indigenous household member 18 and over are eligible for a fourth shot. Alexandra says she's frustrated with the lack of attention given to students with additional educational needs in congregate settings.
I don't know if it is a blind spot, if it's just something that has been missed, if there's, if they're working on something else, what's going on.
CityNews reached out to the province to find out if there are any exceptions to the current eligibility criteria. In a statement, they said in part, no one under 18 can get a fourth dose under any circumstance, and Ontario is waiting on further guidance from NACI on second boosters for other populations. Meanwhile, Alexandra says Sam's school has seen a dramatic increase in COVID-19 cases after March break, which she feels further heightens the urgency for the students to get boosted.
We want to keep our kids as protected as possible, because God forbid if they do get COVID, we have no idea if it's going to be mild or if they're going to end up in the hospital.
For more on this story, you can go to our website citynews.ca. For City News, I'm Dilshad Burman.